Well, let me say that all of the information that I give today is my personal opinion. It's not the state of Alabama or the Department of Human Resources opinions. These are just my personal opinions. My name is Diane Dunning, and I am an Assistant Attorney General for the state of Alabama Department of Human Resources. And I've done that for 25 years now. I came to be to have a relationship with Alabama Guardianship through my work with the Alabama Law Institute's Commission on Guardianship Reform and the Supreme Court of Alabama's Commission on Guardianship and Conservatorship Reform. People don't appreciate the Department of Human Resources. Everybody loves to hate DHR. Because they come in and they mess with their lives. But the people who work for DHR are really great people. They love what they do, which is they try to help people, and they help a lot of people. Sometimes people don't want the help that they have to get, and they have to go through the courts. And a lot of times what people forget is that DHR is just another person or another entity in the court system. The court is the entity that's making the decisions that everybody has to live by. And so even though DHR may ask the court for something, it's not going to happen unless the court agrees that it needs to happen. So it's not DHR doing the bad things to people. It's the court deciding that these are the things that need to happen for the whole situation to be better. And so what I really love about what I do is that I get to represent social workers who work with families and are underappreciated for what they do. And so it's really an honor to me to get to represent them in court, to stand up for them and make sure that they don't get beat up. I always knew I wanted to be a lawyer, which, people are like, what did you want to be when you were a kid and what are you now? And most people are like, well, I wanted to be a fireman and now I'm an engineer or whatever. So, but I wanted to be a lawyer and I am a lawyer. So that's kind of cool. And I just kind of fell into what I'm doing. But they say the law is a calling, and it really is, because what I'm doing is really, I think, where I think I'm making an impact. I started out as a lawyer, wanting to be a prosecutor and work in the DA's office. And so now I'm an assistant attorney general, which is kind of like the same thing as the DA, but I'm working on the civil side rather than the criminal side. Although some of the work that I do is kind of quasi-criminal. It involves criminal acts, but we're not really prosecuting the criminal. We're protecting the victim from the crime. So it's kind of cool. I think the cases that I enjoy the most are they're all kind of the same. I do adult protective services cases, which are cases where elderly or disabled adults are in need of services because they've been abused, neglected, or exploited. And so there's all kinds of neglect. They can be self-neglect or neglected by their caregiver or family member. They can be abused by a family member or caregiver or someone else, or they can be exploited. And the ones that I like, the ones that are the most interesting to me, let me put it that way, because I like working to get everyone protected. But the ones that are most interesting to me are the financial exploitation cases, because you do not have to be elderly, you do not have to be mentally impaired or physically impaired to be the victim of financial exploitation. There are so many scams out there now that people fall victim to, and it's really scary. And so I really find those very interesting.